Hey guys, welcome back to our news flash. My name is Fudce, we're playing World End Economica, and things happened. He does look quite a bit in a rush, doesn't he? Kevin Leaf appeared, along with shutter clicks and camera flashes hadn't changed since old times. He had a few attendants in tow, and we all took their seats with a displeased look on their faces. One of his attendants set out his documents in front of Kevin, and another one fixed his hair. I was probably his legal advisor in a tight-fitting suit, talking to Kevin from behind. Kevin was looking over documents the whole time, looking very upset. It seemed like he'd gotten all dressed up for a late-night party, was suddenly called back. The interview with current CEO Kevin Leaf will now begin. I could hear a voice coming from a TV monitor. Another burst of flashes, and Kevin's face became even more troubled. We appreciate you gathering today on short notice. After speaking to a row of microphones on a podium, he glanced back behind himself at someone and spoke to him. The person behind him checked his watch, and Kevin sighed dejectedly. My apologies. Today there was an intense shift in the lunar energy situation. As we have a main administrative company with the Energy Stock Market Exchange, we have a significant interest in this matter. Kevin looked over documentation again before returning to the first sheet. He gave a deep sigh as he tossed his papers from side to side and took one of the microphones. To keep it short, people have been wondering if I've been ordering the raise of energy prices. The answer to that is a definite no. The man behind him appeared to be a lawyer, had a shocked expression in his face, likely because he tried to hand Kevin a sterilised legal document and had been refused. His expression was like that of a stubborn child's. This is his way of showing that he wasn't just reading off a script. It's him drawing his own conclusion and saying what he wanted to say. Kevin looked at the camera as he continued. At no point in history has there ever been a consumer goods monopoly that worked. There have been countless times during consumer market history where there were plans to purchase many times the annual demand or attempts to raise the price. They have all failed. Gold, silver, crude. In the end, they all just had to abide by consumer demand. It should also be clear as day that it should be impossible to buy up our main selling product, electricity. The price follows the demand too closely. Of course, our company is well aware of rising energy prices have been causing problems for individuals. The only thing we've been doing is been studying efficiency in the energy market in order to make the company successful. This poverty problem, it isn't up to a government to solve. I've been hearing what I should take some of my earnings and put them towards charitable endeavours, but the main focus of my company is to improve the gains of my shareholders and nothing else. That is all. Kevin ended with that, leaving a microphone and getting up from his chair. He lived up to his reputation as a man of action with this unorthodox interview. The camera tried to follow along with Kevin, but his bodyguard and other cameramen were on his heels, and Kevin vanished in an instant. The screen switched over and over again, but a commotion in front of headquarters. I was a little imposed by his devil-may-care attitude during the whole thing, but I shook my head quickly. This guy certainly didn't seem like he'd be using dirty tactics. He might have been gruff and frank, but he spoke poorly, but he was far from a sneak. That might have just been all an act to get you to think that. How are your holdings doing? I asked Chris, who was next to me. Chris appeared to be a bit calmer, looking at the moment of the market since it had settled down a little. Worst part of any post losses was when we continued. Average of 9% down. As a whole, it looks like about 4. That's just a scratch. The holdings are close to 3 million, so 4% would be around 120,000. Wage or a high earner in actuality, that was 4%, was but a scratch. But Chris stared at the monitor, and gasped as she had lost all of her money. I recalled what Risa had said. Chris was always rewarded for her efforts. She'd never failed before. Basically meaning she'd never experienced losses before. I would never have been able to reduce the damage if I'd allowed the last day carry over. If I just carried over from the following day, this might not have happened. Chris began to cry as he spoke. I wanted to grab her base of her neck, telling her to look at the performance and say there was nothing to be ashamed about, but I knew it would be pointless. Losses are painful. It was rather mysterious how one could make money overall but still post losses. Even if you know it's a possibility, you don't know when it's going to come to pass. You just need to be more careful from now on. I rested my hand on Chris's head. She gave a hiccuping sob and nodded slightly. I don't think Risa will be happy, but prices are going up, I don't think. You're right. I just took a peek at the energy market, it's up 10%. 10? A shock reminiscent of anger welled up inside me at that number. Can you explain why an emerald industry lowers the temperature by 10 degrees? Because I know people are spending money on heating, there's a 10% increase? I was annoyed at this absurdity. Who said the market moved in a logical manner? It seemed my anger showed on my expressionless face. Chris's eyes were still a bit damp marine blue. She looked at me curiously. If we check on the demand for electricity, it surely will make sense. What's the market prices? It's a collective intelligence. But think about how combination knowledge of the masses is greater than the select few. It appears like Chris had calmed down a bit when I looked at her. She wiped her eyes with her sleeves, blew her nose, and appeared more presentable. Yes, if you asked a passer-by on the street to guess how many jelly beans are in a jar, took the average of their answers, you'd arrive at the exact answer. That was a level of logic on which a market price was founded. I learned 4 years ago a program in Chris's hand right now showed without a doubt that people weren't logical. When you input those factors, it wasn't able to extract profits. But why was it that Chris should have had faith and without a shadow of a doubt? Chris was a genius who got accepted into Lunar City University. Or could it be that I was wrong? Also, anyone can hedge off the energy cost increase. Chris said that as she gazed into a screen of a trading tool, now covered in red numbers, as if she was staring at a wound in her own body. Having his intellectual conversation seemed to have helped collect herself. So it's just that people are buying stocks into an energy exchange. No, Avalon stock high has a stopgap at 13. It's likely people think they'll be able to show gains if they invest into Avalon stock. Chris showed a bit of the aftermath of her tears. Yet she said happily as he tapped away on the tablet. Looks like it. Using an annual conversion, it shows that Avalon stock has caused the energy cost to increase manyfold. People, they should invest wisely before they start complaining. Chris seemed to have completely forgotten about her big losses as she said that innocently in front of her tablet data, where she could simply be wary of cheering herself up. Either way, I stared at Chris's profile expressionlessly. That certainly wasn't because my face couldn't move. I felt as if I just grasped onto a hidden reality. Avalon's growth increases the energy cost? Yes. Exceedingly thoroughly, but Avalon is involved in a lot of stuff, so you could say it's the obvious outcome. It can't be. Chris was startled when I said that. She looked at me. Huh? No, that's very odd. That's odd. What is? I see. That's what it was. This is a face of a strangeness I felt. I looked at the data that Chris had pulled up as I thought that. People didn't need to consciously make logical calculations of a situation they could do unconsciously. A lot of information crossed people's eyes, and unconsciously these gleaning effects affected them, even without them experiencing the situation. This is a cause of the strangeness of Avalon's overall size, and that Eleanor pointed out during looking over a lot of data. I spoke in a near whisper. Try multiplying it. Huh? This is supposing that Avalon controls the entire energy exchange for their highest sales. First, I'm thinking that Avalon's stock is already too high. Chris made a face as she wasn't sure what she was being asked, but looked back and down at her tablet screen. Avalon's stocks are too high? She looked amazed as if to ask, what could you mean by that? Avalon stock is 130 times the PER and 7 times the PBR. PER being the profit rates of one stock, and PBR being the net asset magnification of one stock. The index compares the stock price of how much money would be calculated out and paid per stock if that business were close to being down right at the moment. Meaning that Avalon was shut down at the moment, and one stock would only give 1/7 of its worth. As well, Avalon's aggregate market value had surpassed 30 billion moles. Its sales already had over 40 billion moles. These numbers were clearly too high. That wasn't comparative to other stocks, but that would clearly show Avalon was too high, but the stock price was closely entwined with the assumed futures, so it's not exactly the actual meaning of being too high. There's a possibility that Avalon really is high compared to the actual meaning. It was hard to say if the numbers would have gone this high if the all produced energy of lunar surface was set up with current energy costs. Moreover, Avalon didn't have holdings of power stations, and the rest was only gained through handling fees on the energy exchange. You just need to make commissions based on the volume of the energy exchange. It seemed that Chris couldn't explain Avalon's earnings as she looked over data on her tablet. I wrote an email to Eleanor. She must have been at a hotel as the reply came rather quickly. I'll look it up. For a moment I was almost overtaken by relief, and I hastily sent another email. Judging from what I heard from Toyama, Eleanor didn't have the time for this extra stuff. In actuality, she had reached out to me because she didn't. I wrote, I'll look on my end, and send the results as they come. Please focus on your work. Also wrote, Risa will happily make you more apple pies. Eleanor replied, I've gained quite a few reasons to continue working hard. Chris certainly didn't have a bad manner to steal glances at messages other people were sending, but she was curious what I was doing and what I was looking over this way. What are you doing? I glanced up at Chris when she asked that question. I hesitated for a moment, then said something a bit off the truth. A plan with Eleanor for short-selling Avalon. An investing method where you'd earn as the price declines. Of course, this method was also integrated into Chris's program, so she was a bit pouty as she replied. This is different from working with my trades. This is different from programmable trades. It's a long-term one. She puffed her cheeks and ended up just sighing. Just then, Rita came by. Hey, you guys. Did you see the news? I saw. They say the energy rates are going up. Oh, is that so? Wasn't there a lowering of temperature? Seems that's going to make prices go up. Isn't that just lovely? But what was that from the news? Marisa asked. Chris looked up mischievously and said, We're traders, so information spreads quickly. It's like there's two Harus here. I stayed quiet, aghast, and Chris leaned over to be smiling. More importantly, go take a bath before a chill hits. Chris, you need to get up early tomorrow, so off to bed. You'll catch a cold when you go out. Okay. Oh no, he replied. It was just a conversation between a mother and a child caught up in a game. You too, Haru. I glared up at Risa with an almost 20 look on my face, but Risa just shrugged it off and walked away. Chris gave a small sigh, turned off her tablet screen, and spoke when she stood up. I'll go take a shower first. After that, could you teach me countermeasures for tomorrow? Yeah. I felt depressed thinking about tomorrow. That's all part of trading. Nothing is absolute. Chris turned from me and gave another sigh. I'll take that to heart. I nodded, seeing Chris off. Chris's program runs mathematically. At a certain level it involves no risk. But numbers were irrelevant in reality. If the program continued to run, it could have gone through a storm without a scratch. The fact that trading couldn't happen unless Chris was at the office wasn't a programming issue. What I was thinking at this point needed to be worked on next. I couldn't help but be pulled into something else in my head. That being the one stock located on my tablet. Avalon. I felt a swelling deep in my chest. No doubt it was a secret at Avalon, that was certain. The secret was exposed when Eleanor's justice could be realised. It made me feel sentimental, probably because I wasn't able to save her Ghana. Bought from Terra and brought over, she ran away from home and ended up troubling Risa as well. Then just as soon as she had begun to believe for the first time that life she could be used to someone, she was betrayed by me, her closest partner, and vanished in disappointment. Of course, even if I were to save Eleanor, her Ghana wouldn't come back. I knew that, but still, Eleanor sought my help and I wanted to do what I could for her. I thought that maybe I could repair the irreparable, even just a bit. That's how I felt. So me taking on Avalon was also a clue to my impasse. I felt a rush. I tapped on my tablet looking for data that could serve as proof against Avalon. But I soon paused.